During a House Appropriations Committee hearing on Capitol Hill Wednesday, FBI Director Kash Patel warned that thousands of jobs and operations at the FBI are at risk if President Trump's plan to cut federal spending in 2026 is implemented.
In order to achieve the mission of the FBI, if we continue on the current trajectory outlined, we will have to not only eliminate 1,100 vacancies currently at the FBI, I will have to fire 1,300 more. In order to fight crime at a level that is consistent with 2025, the budgetary number I've asked for in my paperwork is, I think, reasonable.
Last week, the White House unveiled the president's so-called skinny budget, which would shrink federal spending by $163 billion. The proposal would have to go through Congress first, but under the plan, the FBI would have its $10.6 billion budget slashed by more than $500 million. Patel revealed that the FBI originally requested more money, about $11.1 billion in funding. For more, let's bring in CBS News congressional correspondent Nikole Killion. So, Nikole, what are some of the concerns the director expressed over these proposed cuts?
Well, I think you heard it pretty succinctly in that soundbite, is that he would have to cut more positions, and that also it could potentially jeopardize the agency's law enforcement ability. So from that standpoint, he, as you mentioned, argued to the panel that he actually wanted to keep spending levels current, that he would suggest that they not back those cuts and kind of keep levels as they are. So that was his main argument to members of Congress on this panel, but it did catch some lawmakers off guard, including some of the Democrats on the panel who questioned the FBI director about the cuts, which is how this whole issue surfaced.
Now, Democratic Congresswoman Rosa DeLauro of Connecticut told Patel the White House's budget proposal would, quote, quite literally defund law enforcement. What was his response?
Yeah, well, again, I think you heard him try to defend the importance of funding the agency, which is why he was pretty insistent that he didn't want them to necessarily support these reductions in the skinny budget, that was below what the top line that he had requested for the agency. So, again, obviously a little bit of a discrepancy between some of the numbers the White House is putting out and what the director is actually calling for. But look, other Democrats on the panel said that they were relieved to hear that the director didn't necessarily want some of these cuts that were being proposed. So kind of whether or not the White House will go back to the drawing board remains to be seen. But certainly it was an interesting moment, one of many interesting moments in today's hearing.
And you asked House Speaker Mike Johnson Wednesday about a new Congressional Budget Office report that projects millions of Americans could lose Medicaid coverage under the Republicans' proposed budget. Let's listen.
They don't even know what proposals we're considering, so that's
well, the
all
per capita
nonsense.
caps.
We've had all their ads taken down. Per capita caps has effectively been pulled off the table. We're still talking about these things, but
so it's not a lie.
There are very different versions and pieces of per capita caps that you could do that would affect a very small number of people. But the final decisions are not made.
Where does this issue currently stand?
Yeah, well, as you heard me question the speaker there, part of why I asked him some of those questions about his response to this CBO analysis is to get a better sense of where this reconciliation bill stands. As you know, House Republicans have been working on this for several months, but they really have to try to meet some upcoming deadlines and get some of that legislative text out. And one of the biggest questions is what is going to happen to Medicaid. The committee charged with that portion of the bill has yet to hold a markup on that. And again, House Republicans are discussing a number of proposals, including this issue of per capita caps, potentially cutting the federal matching rate that the federal government provides for Medicaid, especially those who fall under Medicaid expansion. So there are a lot of proposals out there, but the CBO report found that potentially millions of people could lose their health coverage if some of these proposals were enacted. So it was critical to hear the speaker's position there, because as you heard him kind of back off some of those proposals, saying, well, those aren't on the table necessarily, but certainly it is something that both Republicans and Democrats are watching very closely as this bill takes shape.
Nikole Killion, thank you.